Let's get physical. Let's get physical.
Cool. Welcome to another episode of Would a Panther Kill a Raccoon in the Wild?
The show we were too lazy to pitch to TV.
The podcast game show where two friends argue about the third's most burning and sometimes pointless questions in order to get a much-needed point in our season-long contest.
In some rounds, the two answerers don't always get to choose which side of an argument they're fighting for, which leads to some quick thinking and often has them mainly persuading themselves, but more importantly, the questioner to believe in what they're saying.
In other rounds, the answerers get a more open question where they can be far more creative with their choices, but they only get a short amount of time, and whatever they say first, they must stick with, no takebacks.
Our special round for Season 1 is Round 3 Fight, where the questioner will pick a universe from which the answerers must pick a character within it, and they must convince the questioner that their character will win in a one-on-one fight to the death.
That's the game.
Well done, Dan.
So here we are, people. This is episode 12.5, we're calling this, as it is an unprecedented final episode of Season 1.
Unprecedented when there has never been a precedent set.
Well, there was. The fact that we probably thought someone was going to win by episode 12.
Yeah, we definitely thought someone was going to win by
Exactly.
episode 12.
This is why this is unprecedented, and it's why we are here after a big pizza each going...
Can I kneel out the podcast?
Yeah.
Dan wins!
I'll take a knee. No.
Take a knee.
So at the end of last episode, now hopefully we've left it long enough for you to all have listened to the last episode, so you're all up to date. That in that last episode, James and Dan have tied.
And I know certain people are foaming at the mouth. I've had several abusive texts. How dare you? A fucking draw!
Yeah.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Yes, we know some of you weren't particularly happy, but hey, it's the role. It's maths, and we can't help maths. But what we are doing is we're settling this right now. One question is all that stands in between us finding out who's won and who hasn't. But before that, of course, we've got to make an episode somehow.
Yeah.
I've got a little practice question.
Well, I've got a rant.
Oh, well, fine.
A start episode
Let's start
rant.
that. Come on, James. Have a
Right,
rant.
so my start episode rant. I am never, ever, 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 ever fucking selling something on Facebook fucking Marketplace again. Fuck me up the wall. That was the most painful experience.
Is this your Xbox?
Yes. So for those of you who aren't aware, I sold my Xbox Series S the other day because I've got a PS5 and it's basically the Xbox been gathering dust. Love the Xbox Series S. Great little console. Fully recommended it to Kirk, who also loves it, right?
I bought one, yeah.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's a good little next-gen box.
Did you buy it off him?
No, I bought mine a year ago.
No, because we were...
Am I the guy he's about to talk about?
So, and then basically we all decided that we weren't going to play Xbox as a group anymore.
I know. The second I bought it.
Yeah, it's fucking
typical.
Basically, we all got bored of Warzone because they fucked up Warzone
Yeah.
as Kirk bought it.
And then Madden, it just dropped off as well.
Yeah, Madden dropped off as well. Yeah. Anyway, so I listed it for sale, right? And I was careful with what I did. So I put a photo of the Xbox on. Now, the original controller with that Xbox broke. The headphone jack stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
So I traded it in at CEX because they don't check the functionality of the headphone jack. And bought a Forza Horizon 5 edition controller, which was a fucking great controller. I showed you both it, didn't I? It was like yellow and pink, like the Horizon 5 colours with like steering wheel grips on the back. Oh, it's fucking great. So I listed that and a spare wired controller I bought for when we're playing Madden with the boys. And then I also had an expansion card for it and a external hard drive. So I listed it for £200. Bear in mind they sell brand new for about $250, $300. Listed it for £200, and I said, can throw in the... I basically took the expansion card and the hard drive out of it, and then said, and I'll chuck them in for an extra 50 quid. Within about an hour of it going up, message from a guy. Guy says, how much is your best price on all of it? And I was like, here we fucking go. Here we... And he went, cash waiting, we'll collect today. I went, if you're going to collect today, because I really wanted to buy my new Switch and Pokemon Scarlet, I was like, if you collect today, 200 quid for the lot. Like, I'll give you basically the hard drive and the thing for free. Okay, cool. Where can I meet? And I was like, here's my address. Oh, are you near a train station? Here we fucking go. Here we fucking go.
Oh, right.
Coventry train station, fine. I'll meet you at 5 o'clock after I finish work. That's what I said. And he was like, yeah, sound, mate, sound. It's like, clearly he's got nothing better going on. Yeah, because, yeah. And he says, and I did a bit of Facebook stuff and found out this guy's from Dudley. So I was like, right, okay, so he's got to make a bit of effort to get here, fine.
The other side of Birmingham.
Yeah. And so I geared up my good friend, Cara, because Cara was working from home with me that day. And I said, Cara, after work, you come with me to the train station so I don't get stabbed or raped, yeah? You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
like, I'm carrying 200 quid's worth of Xbox in a bag. I could either be stabbed, robbed, or God knows what.
Yep.
And he could just run off and hop back on the train and fuck off to Dudley, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, she was like, yeah, fine. I'll wait in the car and I'll just watch, kind of thing, like binoculars, spy mode. Fucking ace. It gets to like 4:45. I text the guy. I'm on my way to the train station now. See you soon. Do you drive? Yes, I drive. Why? What's your best price for delivered? You
To
fucking
Dudley?
what? 15 minutes before we're supposed to meet. You fucking what?
You should be on the train already, mate, half an hour ago.
And he's like, I really, really want it. I need it delivered. I've got cash. What can you do? 50 quid. 50 quid to deliver. It's an hour and a half in rush hour traffic. 50 quid. Can't do 50 quid. Well, what can you do? What's the best you can do? No, what can you do? Yeah. And it was like back and forth. I was like, fuck's sake. And the guy went, I could do 240. I was like, you're really haggling with a tenner.
A tenner.
So I went, you know what? Fuck it. Yes, okay. Because it'll be about 10, 15 quid in petrol to get there and back. But it gives me enough money that I can buy the Switch and the game without spending any of my own money. So fuck it. I'm going to do it. And obviously then, traffic was shit.
Yeah.
Fucking pissing with rain, pitch black. Fucking drove all the way there. Got some bloke standing outside. He's like, you for the Xbox? Yeah. There you go. Just fucking handed me the cash and fucked off. I was like, you're not even going to say, thanks for coming all this way, mate. Really sorry to put you out.
At least he gave me the fucking cash. I was half expecting him to go,
to be fair,
here's 100 quid.
So to be fair, what I did was, I shared his address with Cara and Celeste. Like, when he gave me the postcode and the address, I was like, look, this is the address. I was like, I had to stop and buy a phone charger on the way because I was like, my phone charger in my car had broken.
Mm.
And I needed to replace it anyway, but I was like, I'm not letting my phone die while I'm here.
Mm.
Turned up at this estate and I'm like, fuck me, I'm going to get murdered. I was halfway expecting
Dudley too.
I was expecting the door to open and like 18 lads come out and just batter the shit out of me and rob my Xbox, you know?
Yep.
I was like, fuck's sake. So I was like, I'm leaving my phone in the car. I'm keeping my watch on me. That way, they can't rob my phone unless they rob my whole car. Then I've got a bigger problem anyway. And I was like, and my watch will tell Celeste where I am.
Yep.
So I was like, fine, I'm doing it that way. Like, why the fuck do you have to go through this much effort to sell a cunted Xbox?
Yep.
Like,
you don't get any other offers in the time
No.
that this was all happening?
No.
Oh.
But I even offered it out to people. Like, I'll trade you for a Switch. No, not interested.
Is that,
Well.
do you sell on Marketplace often, or?
It's the first time I've done it.
Oh, there you go. Well, me and Lauren have sold a few things, and it's standard practice that you get some weird people messaging you like, oh, have you got this? There was one guy, we were trying to sell a set of shelves, and one guy was like, I'll give you this much for it. I think it was like 30 quid or something.
Yeah.
And we were trying to sell it for 50 because it was an IKEA, basically brand new set of shelves. And we're like, do you know what? Yeah, we'll take it. You know, what about 20? No, we're not taking 20. So, okay, never mind then. And then then another person offered us 40. So we're like, yeah, come and get it. And then the other guy piped back up and he was like, I have 30 quid. I'm coming to get it. What's your address? We're like, no, we've sold it for 40, mate. Where are you? I'm coming to get it. 30 quid. We're like, no, we've sold it. We've sold the shelves.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
He's like, do you give me your address? I have 25 quid. I'm coming to get it. Hang on. I just sold it for 40, so it's gone. And now you're lowering your price.
I had a thankfully shorter experience, which was, is it still for sale? Yes. Nice. That was it. That was it.
Maybe this is what we need to be a special segment for season 2. We need to fucking online shopping ordeals.
Yeah.
I had one time where I ordered something off Vinted thanks to Lauren, and it just didn't show up. And I was messaging the bloke and he's like, oh, here's the receipt, and just sent me a fucking black picture. was like, that's not the receipt. And he's like, oh, sorry, let me resend it. My hand was over the lens. And then he just never replied to me.
Wow.
Sick.
And then I had to claim it all back through Vinted. And I wasn't allowed to do it for like, what was it, like 6 or 7 weeks before they like would officially let me claim it as lost. I'm like...
At least you can claim on that.
Uber Eats has gone to shit as well recently. Like, I've ordered some things off Uber Eats delivery in the past couple of weeks, and my delivery's been delayed by like over an hour. Remember when we had Mr. Beast Burger?
Yeah.
So, Kurt, did you know
We've not brought this up yet.
No.
We said we were going to bring it up on the podcast.
Yeah, did you know Mr. Beast Burger is in Coventry?
As in the internet sensation, Mr. Beast?
Yes.
No?
You know his fast food chain, Mr. Beast Burger?
Oh, shit. I had no idea. No, what? What?
It is shite.
Garbage.
Oh, is it?
Well,
That's a shame.
Like, I'm not going to tar all of Mr. Beast Burger with it. The one in Coventry is... So what I found out with it is it's a virtual restaurant. So basically, you sign up with your restaurant or kitchen, from what I understand, to be a Mr. Beast Burger, and you get given the supplies and the branding.
Like franchising.
Yes. Yeah. But there's literally no... There's no brick and mortar investment from Mr. Beast whatsoever, if you know what I mean. Like,
He just gives you the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Village Hotel in Coventry is the Mr. Beast Burger.
That's nuts.
And we ordered it thinking, it'll be all right, quick meal.
Go.
It doesn't look too bad. We had a burger each, fries each as a meal with a drink.
I had 2 sets of fries.
And Dan had an extra set of fries. So it was like 2 burger meals. Dan had a chicken burger. I had a Mr. Beast beef burger. I had it beast style.
Okay.
There's only like 3 styles.
Don't forget that you ordered the beef style fries.
I also ordered beast style fries,
as opposed to normal,
which are basically covered in cheese and pickles. I was like, that'll do.
Like dirty fries.
Yeah. Kid you not, mate. The fucking thing delayed how many times? It was like
3 or 4 times.
Over an hour and a half we waited for that fucking burger.
Not to get here, but for him to message with, I'm on my way now.
Oh, shit.
Like, and to collect it.
Yeah.
Right? And I kept messaging him like, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's the restaurant made their shit. And I was like,
poor guy was sat there for
like
40 minutes.
He's like, that guy's losing income as well.
Losing money, yeah.
It's not the first time I had it with McDonald's a few weeks ago as well. McDonald's through Uber Eats. So Mr. fucking Beast Burger turns up cold, despite the fact the guy was like, oh, at least, like, we're sitting there, well, at least they've made it fresh for us. Fucking stone cold. My beast-style fries weren't beast-style fries. They were regular fries. At least they put the bacon that I asked for on it. And then, the fucking fries were like basically McCain's oven fries.
The fries were not, they tasted good, but they weren't anything special.
No, they were like McCain's oven fries. You know, the wavy ones.
Crinkle fries.
Crinkle chips, yeah.
With just a bit of seasoning on.
And the burger was like something I could have made myself. Like...
Yeah.
Like the...
Oh, that's a shit. I'm never going to go there.
Yeah, and do you want to know the kicker? The real kicker with all of this? Do you know how much it cost?
For a Mr. Beast burger.
2 burgers, 3 lots of fries, 2 cans.
Well, we didn't get one of the cans.
Oh, but you still paid for it?
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Came as part of
it.
The
also was the wrong can.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
It was a Coke Zero instead of a Coke. I know it's not major, but
yeah,
still.
Quick maths. Ideally, be paying for the 2 of you 21 quid.
£45.
Oh my
Kirk.
God.
45 English pounds, which admittedly 20 of it got refunded when I kicked off, and then we used that to buy Jinseon.
Nice.
We ate depressing burgers, which we have some fried chicken.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
What, fried chicken after depressing burgers? No,
the £45 for 2 burgers and a few chips and the wrong drink.
Yeah, and it's like, and you know, like I say, no shade on Mr. Beast. Like Mr. Beast, as much as I said fuck Mr. Beast like 2 episodes in, like no shade on the guy. Like it's
not his fault.
It's a business model, and I very much doubt he's there in the Coventry Village Hotel making my burger,
ringing them up.
Yeah, but like Jesus, do some vetting.
Yeah,
like read the TripAdvisor reviews or something.
Yeah,
because that's damaging your brand, my guy. Anyway. This is Would a Panther Kill a Raccoon in a Wild?
Episode 12.5.
And we'd like to celebrate by launching Would a Panther Kill a Raccoon burger.
Wait, raccoon burger?
A virtual restaurant where you can order a burger either panther style, raccoon style, or salty D style.
I think we should,
And basically, you will order it. It will be 3 hours. We will then cancel your order and keep your money.
We'll send you some lettuce or something.
Woo!
Right.
And that's going to be our first line of merch. We need to do merch.
We should do merch.
We need some merch designing. Cara can design merch. You could design merch.
I could probably design merch.
But will you do
3
it?
to 5 business weeks.
So, as if none of that ever happened, I'm going to say, to keep this episode interesting, guys, I've got a practice question. Doesn't matter who wins. It's just purely, I want to know what you would say, and I'm quite interested.
Okay.
So, here is the question.
This is no points.
No points.
This is just like a
bragging rights.
This is
warm-up bragging rights.
You could say this is irrelevant.
Shit. But can I make money out of it?
Drink.
I've finished mine.
Yeah, same.
It's also Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. No, I gave Kurt the last of the red, so I've got a bit of white.
Dan is scathing. Anyway, here's the one-more question. If I was banned from a local library, what would be the reason? Completely open question. Have a think. Best one wins. Oh, James already got his hand up.
Is it? Go on.
Wanking in the CDs.
In the CDs.
Yeah, libraries have CDs and
They do.
records.
Yeah, sure.
And like you're an audiophile, mate. So it's either that or it's like the
What CD is it?
the biography of Mozart. Like, that's where you either go into that area or you're going to like new wave jazz various.
You were scary close. Like that is exactly where I would go. It's new jazz variants, yeah. But anyway, Dan.
Don't know. I'm burning all the recipe books with meat in them.
It's not bad. Considering it was a half-assed answer, it's not bad.
I mean, Kirk is a veggie, but I've never considered him to be a militant
I don't know.
veggie.
I feel like your personality is veggie music.
Veggie music. Music with vegetables.
I like them people on YouTube who take carrots and hollow them out into
Make them
recorders.
into flutes. Yeah. So James is saying that I would have got kicked out for one, revealing myself and
inappropriate CD
finishing
player.
myself in a CD player of some new jazz or Mozart.
And I think, sorry, just to add to this, I also think you'll have done that as you've returned a CD that you've already borrowed to rip to your iTunes library. And as you're being escorted out in handcuffs, the librarian opens up the CD and finds it very sticky.
It's so graphic. Dan, what am I if I'm burning meat recipe books? Wow.
You're cooking the book.
I'm cooking the book.
That's minus a point. That's minus a point.
Dan starts on -1.
Hey, we said there's no points in this. So.
It's true. It's true.
Kirk's setting fire to Guy Fieri's big barbecue blowout.
The irony. Oh, I love it. Oh. Now, James is very close. I did literally go to Cov Uni Library and take all...
spaffing a CD.
No.
These two are stuck together.
But I did literally borrow every jazz CD they had and ripped it to my iTunes library and took it back. That's what I did. I didn't smuggle them though.
What music arouses you?
Jazz.
Jazz.
It arouses you.
Is that because it sounds like jizz?
No, it's because it's sexy.
I think if there's any kind of
Like
arousing,
smooth jazz. Come on.
any kind of arousing music surely has to be like really epic.
It's not going to be Smack My Bitch Up, is it?
No, it's like John Williams film scores.
Oh, that's true. It's good.
Like you're sitting in a cinema and it's like
Jaws comes on.
think even better. Jewel of the Fates, which I don't know if that's John Williams. But,
It is. Yeah.
You're lying there, you're watching it in cinema. Da, 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 da. I'm fucking full mast, mate. I am dicking a bitch to. Da, 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 da. That's the noises she'll be making.
Caught on.
Or the official jizz, Star Wars.
Oh, the Cantina band.
That's called jizz, that music.
It's called Jizz. Oh, we learn something every day.
It's officially the music is called jizz.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, Call it Juz. Call it Jaws. Don't. If you're going to change the vowel, not an I, please, sir. Please, Mr. Lucas.
Oh, dear. I like Dan's line of cooking the books.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to Dan.
I mean, there's no point. It doesn't matter.
There's no point.
I was so scarily accurate, I thought I'd win.
It was creepy.
Like, I could see
Looking into my
Kirk's
soul.
face.
I did do that.
Okay. Get flashbacks to that time.
So
he was sticky in the library.
No.
Like a weird version of Cluedo.
It's funny how much...
It was Kirk in the library with a CD.
Just want to say, guys, it's funny how much you take the piss out of me when I hold all the cards in this game of who wins this season.
Yeah, but if we're both making fun of you, you have to pick one of us still, so it doesn't matter.
Shut up. Anyway.
I just found an Allen key down my sofa.
Oh.
So I've gone back through loads of questions that I had written down and sort of ignored previously because I thought one would have suited the episode better. And I did have another one in mind that I thought of, but actually this one beats it. So remember, this is a comedy podcast. It needs to be funny.
Yep.
It needs to be witty.
Yep.
Now I thought, well, let's try and keep it because in Jesus.
Sorry.
And so that concludes. James is the winner.
USA.
US AIDS.
Jesus.
Yeah, carry on, Kirk. Sorry. Serious face.
So I knew it. I knew he was going to break. I knew it. I looked in his eyes. No, so in the past, I've asked questions where, let's be honest, it's mainly Dan has no idea about certain things, including music. Just music.
Sorry to interject. Like, you've just jumped on me there. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I genuinely think the way we sit in the room summarizes the scale of our personalities. Like, I think I am the midway point between you two, like, in terms of chaos and intelligence.
That's why we work.
Like, I know,
what is this gap here? Like,
that's no man's land. That's the cat.
Right. So yeah, Dan has struggled in the past with not knowing certain things. So I thought, let's just pick something I know you both know at least something about.
Yeah.
Right?
Aragon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what I'm talking about is sport, guys.
Okay.
And I know that James is big on American football. Dan is extremely big on basketball and also American football as well. And you're also into...
Bowls.
And you're also into Coventry City Football Club, so English football.
Sky Blue RV.
Yep. So you all know enough about sport.
Sky Blue RV.
Shut up, James.
Go
Go Blue. Yeah, I'm into college football as well. Does that make a difference?
Sure.
He's getting so angry.
That's rad.
I'm just trying to ask the damn question. I don't even get to play. All I'm going to do is ask the damn question and go home.
Okay.
So,
serious face.
So, although you're both into sport, which is really good, it's actually also, using Dan's coined phrase, irrelevant. Because I'm going to ask you to invent a sport.
Okay.
And your sport has to be better than the other person's.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And it can't just be a mashup of football and hockey and smash it together. That's not how this works. And you need to come up... So, in a similar way J.K. Rowling came up with Quidditch, I want you to come up with your own sport. There's got to be a point system. There's got to be whatever the aim of the sport is, how many players, all that kind of stuff, and what they're doing. I'm going to give you, I don't know what, a minute or two. Have a think about it, and we'll come back.
That's a good question.
That's a lot to think about.
It is the final after all. It needs to be good.
Two hours later.
Okay, we're back after a lengthy pause while these guys came up with some rules and some names and some ideas of their games. It seems Dan has pulled an idea he had from the past, but he's sort of built upon it, and James has made a fresh idea on the spot. So
a wine-powered.
Wine-powered?
Yeah, I've had a glass.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the sport involved wine. That's not how this goes.
I'll never play that.
Just to annoy Dan.
So more so to all the listeners out there, as a lot of you are involved in the sport we play, I just propose that whoever wins this gets their sport played at our next training session.
Mine might be a bit difficult.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, we can adapt. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Mine isn't really a grassroots sport.
Oh, interesting. It should involve ice.
Yeah,
You have to have a lot of equipment. Mine's only like a small amount of equipment, so mine, by the sounds of it, mine's going to be more likely to be able
So Dan wins.
I think you could probably adapt mine.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
could probably adapt mine.
There's always room for
Nice. I think we should get a coin.
Okay.
Okay.
Flip the coin to see who goes first.
I think Dan should go first because I finished first.
Well, that's not how this works. For this episode, I'm going to use a 50p.
Yep.
Nice.
The
Moving up in the
year.
world.
Here we are. The year is 2003.
Oh, it's old.
Very
Almost
old.
as old as Dan.
Yeah.
Just a
And-
baby.
10 years. Yeah. Here we go. So if it's a heads, James, you're going to go first.
Love a bit of head.
It is a heads.
Okay. I would like to introduce you two gentlemen to the sport that I have named Flugball.
Flugball.
Flugball requires 2 teams of 8 players.
Nice.
You have to pass what I've determined to be a polygonal ball.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is, you know how, think of how a football is stitched into like pattern, into like patches where it's like pentagons and hexagons. Imagine if that ball wasn't strictly round.
Okay.
Dodecahedron.
Yeah, kind of dodecahedron.
But like a 20-sided dice.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like
Nice.
it might be more sides than that. It's just so it's not a truly round ball, but it's not quite the egg shape of rugby or American football.
Yeah.
The pitch itself is a hexagon, but it's almost like a diamond crystal hexagon. So it's very long in the middle, with then 2 diagonals that go to a point either end.
Yes.
In the middle is the flug, which I will explain shortly.
Yeah. Okay.
The fluke.
The objective for the 2 teams is to pass the ball through a circular goalpost, which is raised above the floor, at either end of the pitch where the points meet. Right?
Okay. Yep.
But here's the twist. You don't get a point for passing through the goal. What happens is, you pass through a goal, that starts your scoring play. At which point, you have to recover the ball and get it into the flug to get the point.
It's a fluke.
It is essentially a hole in the middle of the pitch that then fires the ball back up into the air to resume play.
Oh, I like that. So it's immediately restarts.
Yes. So,
Nice.
and then basically once the ball's in the flug, the team that put it in there gets a point. It's full contact. You can only dribble for 5 steps before you have to pass. So you are allowed to move, but only 5 steps. It's full contact, so anyone can just smack into anyone and recover. And your point can be stolen. So once the scoring play starts, if the other team puts the ball in the flug, they get your point.
Oh, so they can intercept
okay.
and then
Yeah, they don't have to then go back through their goalpost.
Oh.
But obviously, if no one was to go through a goalpost, no one could score. So that's the reason why you go through the goalpost.
Right.
So once it comes back out of the fluke,
It
then has to go
back through a goalpost.
back through a goal.
So as a defending team, you'd almost welcome them to put it through their own hole.
Yeah.
So you can then try and get it back and get an easy goal.
Make them do all the effort. And then,
Yeah. Oh, I like it. I like it. Have you got an idea about positioning? So you've got these 8 players on the team.
Yeah.
What kind of positions are you thinking of?
So, my logic is with these 8, you've essentially got 2 that would act as your, call it striker goalkeeper.
Uh-huh.
Because the thing is there's no rule that says you can't put it through the goalpost on your side.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go back and do it, and then the other team has to rush over the flug to get you, or you could go the other way if you wanted to, depending on what side of the pitch you're on as to where the flug comes out.
Mm.
So if the flug fires up and over the halfway line to the other side, you might as well go for their goalpost because
Right.
you're already over there.
Yeah.
If it comes over to your side, nothing stops you from going back your end and passing it through. So you have 2 at the back, one who essentially is a striker and one who is a goalkeeper, who's defensive and offensive minded. You've then got your 3 at the front, who are your recovery team. They're the guys who are best at catching the flug in the air and getting it away from the other team.
Nice.
And then you've essentially got a midfield who they're kind of a bit of a jack of all trades who can get the ball back to the goalpost or help rush forward.
I like it. I like it. So Flugball from James. I've got some questions for later on, but yeah, Dan, go ahead.
So my game we sort of invented this when we were younger, me and one of my friends. I've taken, like I said earlier, 2.5 elements from it. One's the name. This is called the Graffle. Okay. Don't ask why. We have no idea why we started saying that word. It's spelled Graffl, the Graffle.
Okay.
I expected an E at the end of that.
No, you expected wrong.
We live in a society.
Yeah. So that it's two. You can play it in solos or doubles or triples if you want to be freaky.
Okay.
It's kind of like, so for every player you have, there's a 2 meter square box on your side. There's two sides and a like a plastic, some kind of contraption in the middle dividing the two.
Like a net or like a plastic.
So we did it on a tennis court.
Yeah.
Where we started it. So on your hands you have big pallets that are like gloves.
Yeah.
That you use to tap a ball, similar to a tennis ball.
Yeah. But like table tennis pads.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't like grip anything or catch the ball. And you have to. So on the net per se, there's at the bottom of the net there's like jutty out points, and they're called the Graffle points. This is the other element that came from it. They're called the Graffle points, and the thing you've got to do is you've got to hit the ball to the other side, and the aim of the game is to get it to hit the top of the thing and then drop down and hit one of the Graffle points, so that it doesn't bounce on the other player's side and they can hit it back. So if it hits one of them points, it shoots out, and that's a point.
Okay. So it's like tennis, but instead of hitting the net,
so if
you almost want to hit the net.
Yeah. So if you hit it over and it just bounces and then bounces away and they don't hit it, that's nothing.
Right.
If the other player, you're trying to get it back. If you hit it and it goes out of the box, you lose a point.
Right.
So the only way to get points is to get it to hit the top of the net, we'll call it a net, and it to drop down, hit a Graffle point and shoot away and roll across the floor. Once it's rolling after hitting a Graffle point, that's it. If for whatever reason it bounces off the Graffle point, it's still in play and they can carry on.
Okay. Are there different elements of the Graffle points? Like, are there different points available?
Yeah, so that they can be changed and moved around.
So it's a bit like tipping point.
Yeah, so they'll kind of randomize it at the start of each game.
Nice.
Cool. But there'll be the same amount on each side.
And perhaps... so would the opponent know where your golden chances are, for instance?
I mean, I was actually thinking that, like, depending on what the middle thing was made of, if it was a hard, opaque material, you couldn't see where the Graffle points were.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
So is there no guarantee the Graffle points are on the same points?
No. That's what I'm thinking. So like 100 points could be here.
When you go in, you can put the Graffle points where you want them.
Okay.
So let's say there's 3. You can plug, there'll be a row of places you can plug them in. You plug your Graffle points in. Something like battleships kind of thing. You got to guess where it... Obviously, once you find one, you can kind of aim it there.
Nice.
But then you can also play where you know where they are.
Nice.
Bend the rules a little bit. And then like doubles would be doubles, but you get an extra 2 meters square per player you add.
Oh, okay. Nice. So how athletic is yours, Dan?
Nah, not very.
Not very. So is it very stop and start?
I forgot to mention, when you hit a Graffle point, or when they hit a Graffle point on your side, you have to scream Graffle. That's just the rules. Otherwise, they get more points.
It's like Uno.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or the Graffle. Only because that's what we did. Whenever it hit the Graffle point, if you like, we just start screaming. So that's an important rule.
Fair enough.
To keep it at its roots.
I feel like sports invented by children is such a ridiculous thing. It's brilliant. Like when we were at school, we played Wii tennis, where you'd go to the tennis court and tuck your arm into your sleeve, so you didn't have your use of your... Because you know how the guys on the Wii don't have arms; they've just got hands. So we used to serve.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so James, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
So once the ball has launched back from the flug,
So I would actually like to say the term to score a point is locking the flug.
Locking the flug.
Once you have locked the flug, that is you securing a point.
Nice. Okay.
And then the flug will release. And it's releasing the flug is the restart of play.
My question is about the release.
Yes.
So let's say there are spectators, and let's say your sport took off and it's in stadiums.
Yes.
You've got all people all around. Now, you said how it depends on where that flug goes as to where they can then score their points from on either side of the team.
They can choose. If you wanted to, if the ball comes over your side, you could still run the length of the field.
Okay, yeah. But what I'm saying is, as a spectator, is there a way you're going to program that flug so it does go either side? Because otherwise, I'd be pretty pissed off if I was paying £47 to see the sport and it's all the way over there for the whole game.
The flug is basically on... It's essentially, if you imagine, it's on a ball. And so it's got a ring around it that limits its travel so that it won't go off the field, per se. But it's got... it's on a ball joint, if you imagine almost like an elbow or something. A shoulder, sorry. And then that flug is constantly... just kind of spinning randomly within
a minor gyration.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's like, someone's dad at a wedding trying to look sexy.
So you have no idea where it could go.
No, so you could lock the flug, and then there's obviously the reset release, which is the points are going, and it's like 3, 2, 1. But you can't really predict.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to tactically lock the flug.
Yeah.
Other than to secure the points.
Other than just like strategically placing people.
Yes.
In ideal locations.
But the other thing is you can't cross the halfway until the flug is out. So if you're on one side and the flug goes to the other side, you then can't rush for that until that ball is until that ball's out and over the half, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So like if you think like a kickoff in American football or rugby or something, where it kicks and then they follow it, it's almost like it's in the middle, it goes up and over, and only once it's gone over,
that peak,
can you then go, right, it's now we can track it.
Once it's hit its cadence.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
I really see it as like a massive arena sport.
So it's like in basketball, goaltending is if someone shoots, if it's on its way up, you can block it, but once it's on its way down, you can't block it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, so then you've got like, and the thing is the goal isn't necessarily at the tip of the diamond, so to speak, the hexagon. It's just offset so that there's enough for a player to stand on the other side to be the receiver once it goes through the goal. So you know how I said you got your goalkeeper and your shooter. Your goalkeeper goes behind that goal so that then it goes through the hoop and to that person to then return it to play to get it back towards the flug.
Nice. Okay. Oh, nice. I like it a lot.
Flug ball.
Dan, I can see yours being very electronic and almost appealing to VR.
Like an arcade game.
Arcade game, but also appealing to VR sports, where yours could be transformed into that and still play your game. So you've got a lot of longevity on this game. I like the idea that it could be opaque.
Yeah.
So you are playing ahead. Would there be any point build-ups or XP, or what's it called, when it sort of charges and you get more and more and more as it goes on?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Like, so if it's like a rally and the rally increases,
yes, exactly. If it's a rally, could you build up?
If you get to 10 hits back,
build up multipliers.
Then it becomes like a 5 point rather than a 1 point.
Yeah, and then your graph could be worth 500 rather than 100.
It's a similar thing to what I wanted to implement in passball, where I know passball is something these guys, like the audience, ain't gonna fucking know really, but like because in passball we have the rule that it's a 3 pass minimum before you can score. Where I was like, okay, but if you get 6 passes, that should be a 2 point.
Yeah.
So you can choose to take the extra risk to pass longer if that results in more points.
Yeah.
Rather than doing what a lot of people do,
that wins.
Which is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, launch and pray.
Yeah. So it's like you know when we go to the last score wins, that score wins can become irrelevant because if you're 3-0 down, you could get 3 back by doing a 10 pass play.
For sure. I love it. So we've got stacking over here.
But yeah,
VR capabilities as well as physical.
The good thing about the Graffl is it's flexible.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what you can play it anywhere.
You can play it anywhere. Just take your Graffl with you.
Could you? Oh, maybe you could buy a Graffle kit on Amazon.
Yeah, Graffle
or
kit.
Danizen.
And you can play it in your garden. Graffle in the Gaffle.
Graffle in the Gaffle. Gaffle.
So
I like that so much.
So I did think about that.
Do it over your neighbour's fence.
I thought about like shit. This like the flugeball would struggle to be a grassroots sport.
Yeah.
And then I went, no, it doesn't need to be, because it can be played with something as simple as a referee and a bucket.
Okay.
Because if you could make
Just someone stood in the middle with a bucket.
it doesn't need to be stood, because the flug is in the ground.
Yeah.
So in theory, you could just have a bucket in the midpoint.
Yeah.
You could bucket the flug ball,
And the ref chucks it up.
and then the ref just chucks it up.
What are they chucking through as a grassroots sport? Because you've got these giant hoops in the air.
Well, you could use anything really. You could use a rugby post.
Rugby post.
Listen, one time me and my friend in the back garden of my grandparents' house stacked some garden chairs. So it was about 6 foot of chairs. And then we put, them big like plastic tubs that you store stuff in.
Yep.
Put one of them on top and we're playing basketball with it.
Fair.
And then my dumb self decided a slam dunk would be a great idea. I got a scar on my arm from when I went through the side of the plastic box. I got a shard of plastic just in my arm from trying to dunk. Obviously, every time we scored, we had to pull the bucket down, take the ball out.
Yep. I'll never forget a Blue Peter episode about that, where apparently basketball, you score basketball because it was a basket with no hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
So they used to chuck the ball and they had to get someone to get on a ladder and get it out. And
Or like they used to have a stick or something and poke it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read somewhere that like the origins of basketball could be traced back to like ancient Egypt, where they had like a hoop built into a wall, but it was like a horizontal,
like an El Dorado.
The Mayan ones, yeah.
Yeah, and you used to have to pass
El Dorado with the armadillo.
Yeah.
Quality.
Cheaty.
That was a real thing, though. I'm sure.
Yeah. It still is. They still play it.
Do they?
Off your hips and heads.
Bounce off the hip. Oh, that's amazing what accuracy they get from their hips.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay. So
we should play that.
the El Dorado game. Nice. So
you could have a hula hoop tied to a GoPro stand for all I care.
that's true. Or maybe you could even buy like swing ball sets, but with a hoop instead. Or perhaps, or it could just be swing ball with a hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Nice.
At the professional level, like obviously there's regulation and stuff, but at the grassroots level, I'm sure they'll make it more accessible. Like,
yeah.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
Kirk.
Always a way. Maybe it can like light up as the ball goes through.
And there's also then like things like you could have flag ball.
Yeah. Flag ball. That's hard to say, isn't it?
Flag ball.
Flag ball.
Flag ball.
Or touch ball.
Nice.
You could have flag raffle, but it'd be pretty pointless.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I'm getting pretty close to my answer. I'd like to know. Let's say your sport took off in the UK, and it could be geographical based. It could be anything. I want to know what one of your teams could be called that play your sport.
What my team would be, or just. Well, I'm confused by the question. Like what
As in, for instance, in England that play American football, especially contact, but they're the cheetahs, the rhinos, the
okay,
but obviously they're like the Chester cheetahs or something like that, right? Or the rugby rhinos, like something like that along the lines. But what would suit your sport?
Do I have to pick a place?
You don't have to, but you could do.
I think mine would stray away from animal type.
The Swansea Schlappers.
The Swansea Schlappers.
It would stray away from stray away from like animals per se. Like it wouldn't be like the elephants or
the Pistons,
the birds. It would be like say the Stafford Stampede.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like because it want
quite rugby league sounding.
Yeah, you want it to be like or tough words.
Yeah. Tough words.
The Coventry Crusaders.
Yeah. And Dan, what about yours? Playing Graffle.
The Schlappers.
The Schlappers.
The Whackers.
Whackers.
The Tippy Tappers.
It sounds quite dainty. I like it.
The Clapbackers.
The Clapbackers.
Anything along those lines.
Oh, okay.
The Cardiff Crushers.
The Fanny Flappers. Hang on.
The Minge Mops.
The what?
The Minge Mops.
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 We said mob.
Dan, what is the... how do you win? Like, is there a time limit? Is there a point limit?
Yeah, you play for as long as you feel like.
Okay.
And then whoever's...
How do spectators get their money worth out of that? 3 points, that'll do, mate.
That's the gamble with Graffle. The timer is a random timer. You just have to get as many points as you can, but you can get minus points.
Yeah.
So the game could end in like -3, -4.
But obviously, there's got to be some kind of regulation if we went to the Olympics.
If we went to the Olympics, we'd give them. I think a solid half an hour.
Okay,
game would be good.
Nice,
because then you could have multiple games going on.
Yeah, multiple
like
rounds.
do little like switchy swapped.
Yep.
Fast pace.
Or when they switchy swap, could they then know where the other person's Graffle is? So when it comes to round 3,
well, you change it at the start of each game.
Oh, okay, okay.
You can replug your Graffles.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Nice. And James, what's your own game?
So the time period is 4 20 minutes. Where, sorry, no, 3. Did my maths wrong there? 3 20 minutes, but they are individual games, so they always reset. So every single game is best of 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
So
what if you win the first 2? Is it just
if you win the first 2, then it's done.
Okay.
And then Coronation Street's back on.
But you could win the first 2, and they would still play the third period because you're playing for goal difference at that point.
Oh, okay. It's in the league.
Yeah, I got you.
But you would still you're essentially just playing for pride.
You get the winning record, and then you get the goal difference record.
Yeah, because if you score 30 on them, you still get that 34 regardless, like 34 your team.
Yeah,
regardless. In terms of scoring, it is only single points per fluke because I wanted to keep that nice and simple. I didn't want it to be like, oh, you get 6 for a fluke and 5 for an intercepted fluke. And no, it's per fluke is a single point, whether that's intercepted or not. So, yes, there is the possibility of draws, but the best 2 out of 3 should minimize that.
Oh, man. Both these sports are really good. I almost want to say, let's put it to a public vote.
Don't you
Don't you dare.
That's why I said almost. Oh, guys, this is really tough. I like both of these sports. I love the team element of James. I love the fact the positions are set. You can even rotate the positions around. I also love Dan's one where it can be played with 1 or 2 or 3 people at a time. Oh, they both have Olympic qualities in them.
Think about it this way: the more players you have, so you could go more than 3 if you like. Mm-hmm. It just gets longer and longer. It stays 2 meters, but rather than being 2 by 2, for one person, it's 2 by
and so much more room for error.
16.
Yeah.
My sport has a regulation field, so when you're building a stadium, you'd know how long it needs to be.
I think they'd cap, depending on the stadium, they'd cap it at a certain amount.
Yeah, Olympic teams are 6 and no more. Yeah. Oh, man.
But if you've got a big old field, you've got a 100-meter track.
James, is yours wearing armor like American football and ice hockey?
Not necessarily. I think there's a level of padding, but it's not the same level. Like I wouldn't say helmets and pads, but like
kind of like their underpad.
Yes, like underpads. So there's enough that you can kind of take a hit, but not enough that it makes you fearless.
Okay.
Because one of the problems with hockey and football is you're overprotected to the point where you then hurt people more.
Have you ever watched any slam ball?
I haven't watched any slam ball.
It's full contact basketball with trampolines.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So good. They don't wear any padding. They wear like knee pads, but other than that, they just
it'd be like essentially underpads, and that's just enough that if you fall awkwardly, you have a bit of protection, but not enough that like you'll go in fearless, because like that then just leads to risks.
James, is there any option of, let's say, it's got to the end of the 3rd game?
Yep.
It's 0-0. No one scored a thing.
Yep.
They catch the. How would you settle this? Is it just golden goal, or would you chuck in an extra ball, or what happens?
I would call it. It would be fluke sprints.
Fluke sprints.
So it'd become a best of 5 fluke sprint.
Oh, okay.
Bear in mind, you can only move 5 paces
yep.
before you have to pass. So essentially, both teams get a ball, and they stand at the goalpost of their respective ends.
Yep.
And they have to get the ball into the fluke directly. Best of 5, first team to do it, to get 3 out of 5, wins overtime.
Oh, man.
And overtime counts as a 1-0 win.
Okay.
I have an overtime rule.
Yeah, Dan, Dan, what's yours?
So if it's, let's say it's 1-1 at the end of the game, you go to the next round, which is the Graffle Graft. And depending on how many players you have, so if it's 1v1, you just have to score 2 more points than the other. Similar to, is it badminton that does that?
Tennis kind of has it, don't they? When you get into it.
Oh yeah, because you get so it's similar to that.
Yep.
But if you have, let's say, 3 people on your team, you then go 1v1s doing that, and then it's best of 3. If it's 2 people, 1 person goes twice, or 4 people.
Right. Okay.
1 person goes twice.
Ah, nice. So each player would get a chance to
Go 1v1.
a penalty 1v1.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
To hit the Graffle.
This is really hard, and one of you is going to hate me. One of you is going to love me.
I want to play both of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, both these games sound really good and actually so well thought out, honestly.
And the Eldorado game.
The winner is
and
Eldorado.
Oh, man. I'm gonna need 30 seconds just to think about this. Who wins season 1 with their sport? So right now, I'll let the listeners new in on what my thought process is. I'm sort of thinking about how this would be received as a spectator, how it would be received at a grassroots level, how it would be received as someone that doesn't have that many players, someone that has a lot of players and they want all to play. I'm thinking all of this right now. It's a new sport, so it wouldn't be immediately elevated to an Olympic level, but it could get there eventually. Which one would be more interestingly played? Oh. They're both really good.
The tension is killing me.
I need a wee.
I also need a wee.
We're almost there. I'm about to announce.
Okay.
I gotta make sure it's
Here
right.
it comes.
I know for a fact there are certain listeners that we know of that will absolutely batter me if I didn't go for the other one, right? I just absolutely know. So, but then again, I'm thinking of those particular people and going, I don't know which way they would go. I've made a decision.
Big gasp.
The winner of Would a Panther Kill a Raccoon in the Wild, Season 1, with their sport of Graffle. Dan is the winner of Season 1. Well done. I love the fact that it was less players could play. It could be transformed into more elements. I love the fact that it was more point-based, and I really liked it. You almost lost it until you did the final round of each player can then get in and make that kind of thing as well.
I thought I won with Graffle in the Gaffle.
But honestly, James,
Let's play.
It could have gone either way. Really could have.
Let's make both these games a thing.
I think we should. They're both so cool. We should make t-shirts.
Dan, GG, bro.
Baffled by the Graffle.
GG. I think that was fully deserved. Dan has played a fantastic season. You too, Kurt. You pulled it out of the bag several times.
Yeah.
So, Dan, would you like to tell our lovely listeners what we have in store for our special round for season 2?
So our special round for season 2 will no longer be round 3 fight.
No, goodbye round 3.
We're not saying round 3 fights won't happen.
They might be round 1 or round 2 fights now.
They can be classed as open or closed questions, so they could just be plopped in here and there. So don't you worry.
We will still answer many questions on who will win in fights.
If you've got a burning round 3 fight that you thought, I was going to submit it, but I didn't submit it, we'll ask it. Or I'll just come up with those because I'm going to keep doing them. However, our special round, which will be round 3, we kind of teased it a little. When was it? A couple of episodes ago?
Was it episode 12, wasn't it?
Was it episode 12?
I think so, yeah.
With the old Aragon Star Trek.
Yes.
It'll be the reversal round.
Reversal round.
Where
that's a soundbite for you there.
Nice. The two answerers, if you like, will be deciding on each other's answers.
Yeah, so
making it as painful as possible.
Making it as painful.
So essentially, it's a game of sabotage.
Yeah.
So for example,
I really enjoyed the one we did, so I can't wait to do more.
Yeah. So for example, I could say to you guys, what is objectively the worst food? And then Kirk might say,
I'd say vegetables.
Yeah.
Dan may say vegetables.
But I would have to argue for why vegetables are the worst food in the world.
And Kirk would then maybe pick, I don't know,
Bacon.
Yorkshire puddings.
Something that I don't know.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. Something that Dan would enjoy.
So, yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to give us an interesting dynamic.
You say wine.
Wine.
Wine is the best. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be a really, really interesting dynamic, and we'll be back. So, well, let's
explain the next few episodes.
So, we will be having a couple of special guest episodes, which we're recording over this Christmas period.
Plot twist, we've recorded one before this.
yeah, but
oops.
Due to availability.
Yeah. So we'll be recording over the next couple of weeks and stuff, and they'll be kind of drip fed out at a semi-regular basis during the period. Like, don't count on every single Friday, but we'll try and get them out as we can.
Yeah.
With season 2 probably starting February, March next year time. Going back to your regular viewing. And we've also got a Christmas special planned, and it will not be half-assed like the Halloween special.
No,
it will.
We've had this plan for a bit longer.
We've had
than the 20 minutes before we recorded.
So the Christmas special is going to be all Christmas themed. There's going to be some little bonus bits. It's going to be a bit of a bumper length episode.
It's going to be a holiday treat.
Yeah,
and to add it all in, your favourite 3 boys may have had a little tipple during the show.
Yes.
We are making shots mandatory for the loser. We are making wine free-flowing for Daniel.
No.
And we will start before we record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, we're going to set the mics up, then have a pre-drink, and then get into it. So expect it to be very sweary.
Yep.
And
a bit slow.
And probably nonsensical.
Especially towards that last question.
Probably incomprehensible. But fun and chilled.
Yeah. But I hope all the listeners out there have enjoyed learning about us. That's essentially what you're doing is we're answering things in our opinions, trying to sway the other person's opinions. So I hope you've learned a lot about us, and we'd like to then lean on that in the coming seasons to then, for instance, Dan's hatred of wine. I'd love to be able to use that at some point in the coming seasons to lean on. And
over Christmas, I'm going to become the biggest wine snob.
Plot twist. Plot twist. Dan loves wine.
But of course, before season 2 comes out, we will be pushing season 1. Of course, if you're listening to this, you've already listened to it, but perhaps your friends haven't, perhaps your family hasn't. So please share it with them. The more views we get, the more listens we get, the better it becomes, and the more accessible our podcast becomes for the coming seasons.
And it's also quite nice that I think, let's see if she actually listens to the show, we can officially welcome on board our new social media manager.
I was about to say, got a few thanks to give Lauren for taking over my position as social media manager.
Yeah,
because as we all know, I'm garbage at it. And
Dan can do the graphics, but he can't do the posting.
Yeah. Like I say, 3 to 5 business weeks.
Yep. So, we can welcome on board and thank Lauren very much for stepping in. So hopefully, as season 2 rolls out and as the next few weeks go by, you'll start to see a decent social media presence from us.
Yeah.
We're looking at some point in the near future, hopefully getting some videos of us, maybe doing a bit of bonus stuff on YouTube and stuff.
A bit of a React channel.
We got plans in the works. Another thanks I'd like to give is Celeste for allowing us to basically kick her out of her own house while we record.
And it ain't going to stop anytime soon.
And thanks for continuing to let us kick you out of your house.
And thanks to Amelia for allowing Kirk to leave his house long enough.
Letting him out of his cage.
And thank you to all of you listening, because we're rapidly approaching 2,000 listens. I think we might just hit it before the end of the year.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And it really is awesome to see that this thing that we kind of just screamed at each other in the car and got excited about and then told Dan. we've
happened to be thinking about it already.
We've turned it into a thing, and it's a good thing, and we hope it continues to grow. And before you know, we've all quit our jobs and we're full-time podcasters.
Nice.
One more thank you as well. I'm going to keep bringing him up. Is Kirk, who's definitely put the most work in out of all of us.
Thanks.
100%.
To, edit and set up and
And it's even though,
And thanks to me for putting the least work in.
even though
Thanks to
Kirk's,
Dan for making the graphic.
Making the logo.
even though Kirk's been consistently in last place, he's still turned up. He's still edited.
Yeah.
Pretty much on time.
Pretty much. I mean, sometimes
Could have
work gets in the way.
easily cheated himself the win as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have overdubbed us all.
And the point goes to Kirk.
Yeah, I'm going to give Kirk the point. They just crop out every time we say Kirk.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to
It's scary how good I could probably do that.
Season 2 is
Kirk just getting all the points.
Season 2 is Kirk sweeping.
It's season 1 from the upside down. It's just it's only Kirk.
No, so thank you all again for listening, and we will see you. Oh, well, are we doing a guest episode before Christmas?
We'll see about that.
We'll see about it, but definitely a Christmas special before Christmas.
Yep, so if you don't hear our voices before Christmas,
You will
hear our voices before Christmas. If you don't hear our voices before the Christmas episode, we'll see you at Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cue Christmas music.
Those
sleigh bells ring a ding 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 too.
I've been Thick Jim.
I've been Captain Kirk.
And I am Champion Smokey D.
Yes.
That's the game.
That is the game.